Hey ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another HD commentary. Today we are going to be looking at Dimaga versus Painuser. And so I'm sure you guys know all about Painuser. I've done quite a few videos of him playing before. And of course I've even done a real life interview because he does live near me. But I'm sure most of you have never heard of Dimaga. He is actually one of the top Starcraft 2 and Starcraft Brood War pros currently playing the game on the scene right now. He is from Europe and he is an extremely good Zerg player, bar none, one of the best. And it's kind of a shame that I haven't casted any games of him before. At least I don't think I have. So this is going to be the first game I've ever casted of Dimaga. He is spawning as the red Zerg down at the 2 o'clock position right here on Metalopolis. And of course, like I said before, his opponent is going to be the already well-known Painuser, spawning as the blue Terran up at the 12 o'clock position. Now, right off the bat, I have to say, I have to give the odds to Dimaga. He is such a powerful Zerg player, really one of the best currently in the world, and I just don't know how Painuser is going to be able to compete with him on that level. But let's go ahead and take a look at this game and see how it goes. Right off the bat, you guys can see that Dimaga actually moved his Overlord into range of that command center and then peeled away at the last second, and so Painuser has no idea that there is the Zerg player. The Zerg player has spawned over here at the 2 o'clock position, has no idea currently. Already getting his barracks up and looking like he's gonna try to get his wall off action on right at this ramp. Doesn't obviously want the Zerg player to leak in or flood in some Zerglings. And look at this, Dimaga has actually grabbed a fast expansion not at his natural but rather at his gold. It looks like it was a 14 hatch into 13 pull, or perhaps 14 hatch into 14 pull. Not exactly sure on the numbers, but a relatively fast expansion here at a somewhat risky location, I've got to say. Doesn't look like Painuser is going to scout this expansion out anytime soon, and it's a little bit strange that he hasn't, because usually when you scout you want to stop by these watchtowers. Just kind of a good play to do that in general. But it looks like his rally point is set to eventually cross over this hatchery, so perhaps he will see it. But it doesn't really matter. It's hard for a Terran player, I've got to say, to stop this expansion from going up, especially since Painuser is not going to be trying to do early pressure with infantry. Rather, he's getting a factory down, so he's going to be getting some Hellions out. I'm not sure if the Hellions, they might be able to sneak in here and roast and toast some drones. So we'll see how well Dimaga's defense is going to be set up. Obviously, Dimaga grabbing this expansion knows the risks as well as the benefits and is going to be throwing down a spine crawler, excuse me there. So he knows the risks and the benefits, and of course, being safe is always better than being sorry. Looks like Painuser here going to be getting that reactor on the barracks and possibly going to be pumping Hellions. Yes, there is one Hellion currently on the way for that factory right there. Meanwhile, Painuser grabbing a lot of gas, and one thing I've got to say is Taylor, aka Painuser, is really good at making sure he can play mech against Zerg. It's actually his forte. He prefers not to play infantry against Zerg players, so I'd expect him to get a lot of mass mechanized unit this game against the Zerg player. Dimaga here going to be scouting with this Zergling. He is going to see the Hellion, and he's gonna get it inside the Terran base right there to see the reactor going up on the barracks as well as the dual gas. Nice play by Dimaga, gonna get that vital scouting information, and so he can react accordingly to deal with the roaches. Looks like Painuser here now finds out that there is an expansion up right here, but the spine crawler placed by Dimaga is going to prevent the Hellions from doing further damage. Meanwhile, it looks like this Hellion finally did get rid of that Zergling that snuck into Painuser's main. Painuser here going to be thinking about grabbing a relatively fast expansion himself now that he realizes the Zerg player has expanded to the gold. He knows the Zerg player is not going to put up any early pressure, but he cannot allow himself to fall behind economically, so he has decided to place up a command center here, has a bunker going down as well as a well-placed barracks, more Hellions to take care of any potential Zerglings. Meanwhile, for Dimaga, it looks like he does have a roach warren out, and he actually has a couple of roaches on the field. Looks like he is going to try to do some early pressure here. I'm not quite sure how effective this will be, although Painuser doesn't have any forces that can deal with roaches quite easily. Hellions do fall to roaches extremely quickly, but with a quick repositioning of Painuser's buildings, he can prevent the roaches from running up the ramp. Let's see here as looks like Dimaga is going to run in here with the Zerglings to take some of the damage in the beginning. Roach is going to engage the bunker. No! Dimaga going to go straight for the Hellions, and he's going to try to run up the ramp. Painuser has not blocked this off, and Dimaga is going to get 4 roaches up into Painuser's main. Not good for Taylor here, as he doesn't have the forces he needs to deal with these roaches. He actually doesn't have the factory constructing anymore, and forced to pull SCVs off the mineral line to deal with the roaches. Hellions roasting from behind. Looks like the roaches eventually are going to go down, but has the damage been done? Income tab showing 28 harvesters over 20, so a couple of SCVs falling there, and Painuser may have been set in a defensive mindset after that attack. Obviously now has fallen behind in the economy, so Painuser already not off to a great start, including the fact that Dimaga has this gold. 34 harvesters over 22, his income skyrocketing over Painuser right now. He actually has this idle drone, there we go, going back to work there, making use of its 50 minerals that cost to build it. Production tab showing glial reconstitution currently being researched for the Zerg player Dimaga, which is going to allow his roaches a bit of a movement speed bonus. But look at this, Painuser going to be coming across the field with a ton of Hellions. They do not have the pre-igniter upgrade, but nonetheless they are going to roast several drones at the main and force these drones to run away, but they are stacking up in a nice position for them to be burned. But it looks like Painuser going to run straight to the main, encounter some roaches on the way, but he is going to get a free passport into the main base to see what is going on and possibly roast some more drones out. 35 harvesters over 28. Watch that number as it continues to dwindle. 4 or 5 drones falling there. The 4 Hellions still alive and continuing to roast the drones away. Nice play by here by Painuser. Dimaga forced to chase these Hellions around on the creep, ring around the Rosie, but really Dimaga should just keep the Hellions next to these drones because the Hellions outrun the roaches without that glial reconstitution. They came around for another pass and yet again burnt away more drones. Looks like Dimaga here, Encounter is going to be researching Burrow as well as Tunneling Claws, realizing that Painuser is going to be getting mech. The Tunneling Claws is going to help a lot for those roaches if Dimaga can get a Burrow and Unburrow ambush underneath the Terran mech army. Meanwhile,